Nearly 70% of new construction neighborhoods in St. Johns County include a CDD fee, and a lot of families don't even know what it is until they're deep into the home search. On top of that, nearly every community also comes with an HOA. So what are you actually paying for? And more importantly, what should you expect in return? Hey there, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Josh Rogers, a local real estate agent and team leader of the F3 home team right here in St. Johns County. My team and I help relocating families just like yours make smart, informed decisions about where to live, based not just on what the house looks like, but how the numbers work and how the neighborhood actually fits your lifestyle. I've helped hundreds of families make the move, and it usually starts with a simple text, so if you're seriously considering the move, shoot me a quick text. I'll walk you through your options and help you avoid the common surprises that pop up in the buying process. All right, let's break down the difference between a CDD and an HOA and what it really means for your monthly budget. Let's start with the CDD, because this is one of those things that throws people off when they're moving here, and it's actually a special taxing district set up by the state of Florida to finance infrastructure in large master plan communities. Now, what does that mean for you as a home buyer? Well, when a builder starts developing a brand new community, they've got to install all the basics: roads, water and sewer lines, street lighting, stormwater systems, landscaping, and maybe even clubhouses and walking trails. That's a huge upfront cost. Instead of rolling that into the price of each home, they fund it through a bond, which gets repaid over time by the people who live there. That repayment shows up as part of your property tax bill each year and typically runs for 20 to 30 years, and the cost is broken into two parts: one for repaying the bond and one for maintaining the infrastructure. So when you're looking at neighborhoods like Nocatee, Rivertown, or Beachwalk, you're almost guaranteed to see a CDD. And to be fair, these are some of the most desirable communities in St. Johns County because they're thoughtfully planned and packed with features. So if you've ever wondered why two homes at the same price point feel so different in what they offer, that CDD might be what's making the difference. Now let's talk about the HOA, the Homeowners Association. This one's a little more familiar to most people, especially if you've lived in a neighborhood with one before. But here in St. Johns County, especially in new construction communities, the HOA can vary a lot depending on where you're looking. At its core, the HOA is the organization that manages the rules of the community and helps maintain the shared spaces. That means things like enforcing appearance standards, keeping up with the landscaping in the common areas, maintaining community signage, ponds, and sometimes basic amenities like a pool, clubhouse, or playground. HOAs maintain what's already built, and CDDs help pay for what got built in the first place. So in neighborhoods without a CDD like SilverLeaf, Julington Creek Plantation, or some of the smaller pockets off County Road 210, you'll usually see a higher HOA fee. That's because the HOA is responsible for both the long-term upkeep and some of the upfront development costs. In those cases, you're not paying a CDD on your tax bill, but your monthly or quarterly HOA dues will often reflect the extra responsibilities. But in neighborhoods with both, like Nocatee or Beachwalk, you might see a smaller HOA fee paired with a larger CDD. That's because the CDD is already covering a lot of the infrastructure, and the HOA is just handling community rules, appearance standards, and light maintenance. Something also worth knowing is that every HOA is different when it comes to restrictions. Some are super relaxed, while others are pretty strict about things like paint colors, parking boats or trailers, or even putting up seasonal decorations, and this can really impact your day-to-day life. Now, if you're just starting your research and you want to connect with families who are already living in St. Johns County or others planning the same move as you, come join my private Facebook group. It's full of helpful local tips, neighborhood reviews, school feedback, and just real talk from people who've been in your shoes. I think you'll find it super helpful. Okay, so now that you know what a CDD is and what an HOA does, let's talk about the money side. Because at the end of the day, most families moving to St. Johns County want to understand how this all shows up in their monthly or yearly budget. First up, CDD fees are typically rolled into your property tax bill. So when you see a tax rate that's higher than expected, it's often because a CDD is included. In most communities, the CDD can range anywhere from about $1,200 to $2,500 a year. For some of the larger amenity-heavy neighborhoods like Beachwalk or Nocatee, it can even go higher depending on the lot size and section. HOA dues, on the other hand, are usually billed monthly or quarterly and paid separately from your mortgage and taxes. In CDD communities, HOA fees might be as low as $50 to $100 a month, since the CDD is covering a lot of the heavy lifting. But in non-CDD neighborhoods, that same HOA might be $300 a month or more, because they're maintaining everything themselves. Some families see no CDD and get excited, but then realize the HOA fees are pretty steep, or the amenities aren't what they were hoping for. Others are okay with a higher tax bill if it means a better lifestyle with water parks, trails, fitness centers, and a tighter sense of community. So when you're running numbers with your lender or figuring out your monthly payment, don't just look at the mortgage and taxes. Add in the HOA and CDD too. That's going to give you the true cost of living in that neighborhood. Here's where the rubber meets the road. Some people look at CDD fees and immediately think, that's too much. But if you compare the neighborhood experience, things like walkability, trails, parks, pools, and the sense of community, it often balances out. You're essentially paying over time for a lifestyle that's already built in. On the flip side, if you prefer a simpler setup, fewer rules, or want to avoid paying a few extra $1,000s over the life of your loan, then looking at non-CDD neighborhoods might be the better move. Again, it just comes down to what matters most to your family. So if you're looking at neighborhoods in St. Johns County and trying to make sense of all the fees, HOA, CDD, taxes, I'd love to make your decision easier. So shoot me a text. My team and I will help you compare options, run the numbers based on your price point, and figure out which communities and homes truly fit your lifestyle and budget. And if you made it this far, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.